Okay, well it's time to put the lathe together. Not sure if I'm keeping it or not, but either way it needs putting together. Because much to my wife's dismay, this lot has been stashed in the house for the last 6 months. And there she is, the lathe itself. I've not cleaned it properly. I've just scraped the thick of the muck off. Just had a look at the condition of the slideways and bits, and it's not too bad. But yes, like I said, it's a filthy old thing really. So I'm sort of going to clean it up a bit as I go. Not going to bother making the thing bloody immaculate. We don't know if it works or not. Yeah, it was that cheap, I didn't bother checking. So yeah, we've got a stack of bits, hopefully they're all there. There's a few other bits and bobs that came with the lathe as well, some tooling and whatnot, and that's still stashed away somewhere. But yeah, I figured we need to get the thing built and just measure things like the run out of it, and we'll see if it works, because that's a big old motor, that's got a bit of a squeak to it. One's at 1500 RPM apparently. Now that looks like a 3-phase motor to me, but the guy did running on single phase with that nice big box of gubbins. Yeah, quite what's going on in there, I don't know. And I'm presuming that's the feed in, because that appears to go to, yeah, feed into a 10 amp fuse, which, if that's a 3 horsepower motor, that'd be like 2.2 kilowatts, which will be just shy of 10 amps. So sort of works out right. And then this wire seems to come out on a 5 amp fuse, and that is some heavy blooming wire for 5 amp. So presumably that's either running try again. That was either running something else in his workshop, or it was for the lamps and the coolant pump for this thing, because it's got, there is a pump, there's a mechanical pump for it here, and it also came with an electric pump. So I don't quite know what the deal is, because I don't think either of those were attached when I got it. But yeah, here's what it is. The gentleman I bought it off was very kind and sent me photocopies of some manuals. There's the operator's handbook and an installation and spare parts manual. So hopefully between them I should be able to muddle this lot together. Because although yes, I did take it apart, it was 6 months I think. Yeah, 6 months ago. And the thing's not really been high on the priority list, and I've not really thought about it except for the times when I've tripped over one of the components. But yeah, so I think I might have a flick through them, find the old find my goggles, my readers, have a look at them, sup a cup of tea, and then move onward. We'll see what happens. Like I said, clean it up as I go, not worried that it's a bit of a mess. Don't want to put too much effort in to find out the thing's crap. But we know what'll happen. I'll put it together, it'll be absolutely amazing, and I'll have to take it all apart again to do it properly. Because she has got plenty of different colours of paint going on. I presume this yellowy stuff used to be grey and is discoloured with oil. And I'm presuming the bits of red that we can see in places, like down there, I'm presuming that was the original undercoat. And as you see, there's, yeah, everything seems to be painted red on the inside, and the outside is now currently a mixture of bare metal, original paint, blue and yellow. So yeah, it'll be what it'll be, won't it? I've got a feeling, I've got an inkling it's going to be a good one, but who knows. Like I said, I've not decided whether this one's staying or not yet, so yeah, anyway, right, drink me a cup of tea, have a look at some things, wait for someone to come and help me, because that gearbox is flipping heavy. Can't quite remember how I carried that in the house. I know I did break one of the knobs on it, that one. That happened in the van, it did on the way home. I was rather not impressed with myself. I'm hoping I've kept the broken bit and I can just glue it back together. I presume I have. So yeah, I'm going to wait for someone to turn up to give me a lift to plonk that back up there, because I just about did myself a mischief getting that from the house to here. I'm not quite sure how I carried it in the blooming house, but anyway, it's there. So yeah, cup of tea, read a manual, have a think, stop talking rubbish to you lot, because well, you're going to be sick of me waffling in a moment or two, and then yeah, onward. Right, tea. Okay, well, after some tea and a flick through the manuals and a bit of time I can't say the word now, procrastinating, I still don't know what to do. So I figure I'd like to start by lobbing the gearbox and the motor and bits on, but they're blooming heavy. So I think I'm going to start, I'm just going to clean up the carriage and see if I can manage to lift that all into place on my own. There are some parts diagrams in those books over there, but it's not brilliant. So it's just going to be a case of muddling through, I think. I dare say I'll fit everything twice, because I'll probably put it on upside down the first time and then have to have another go, or get to the end and find a spacer left and go, oh dear, and have to start again. But yeah, for now I'm just going to clean up the mating faces on this carriage. Just a bit of duck oil and some rag and maybe a scraper for the tentacle bits, bit of Brillo pad, yeah, and go from there. Right, let's start getting things cleaned up. Well, I know it's not immaculate, but those slideways and bits aren't too bad under the muck. There's nothing too nasty on them. Cleaned up nice and easy. So yeah, we'll go clean up the main part of the carriage over there, and then see about plonking it on the lathe. Right, onward. Progress. Not much progress, and the thing is still absolutely filthy. Like I said, I've just cleaned the mating faces, the rest of it can stay mucky for now. But there we go, some form of progress. And the carriage lock definitely works. It is not moving. That rattling's because I've not shimmed the lathe yet. Despite levelling the floor, the good old self-levelling compound stuff, it's done quite a good job, but it's still about a millimetre out, which is fine. I can either get some bolts to go in the feet, because they are threaded in these. I presume it's a Whitworth thread. Looks about 7/8-ish. Or I'll just shim one of the corners. But yeah, there we have it. Progress. Right. Back to staring at the manual for a little bit, and then we'll pick the next bit to bolt on. Well, the pile of bits is getting smaller, and the lathe's starting to look a little bit more complete. But we're at the point where the heavy things need lifting, and since I don't intend hurting myself doing this, I'm now going to go drink cups of tea and feed my nicotine addiction until someone arrives to give me a lift with some things. Let's hope they don't take too long. Oh, gearbox is now plonked on top, and we've got the motor sort of loosely mounted at the back. Slowly getting there. Gearbox is not bolted on yet. You see, yeah, there's one of the bolt holes there. There's 4 of them inside. There's one down the back there, and then same at the back. And yesterday, like a plank, after a friend of mine came to help me lift it on, I leant on it and nigh on knocked the thing on the floor. Must remember it's not fastened on. Right, so we'll get those bolts in, and then we're running out of bits, which is kind of a good thing, I suppose. Right, I shall suck my cup of tea, and then yeah, see if we can reduce this pile of bits a bit more. Okay, onward. Okay, it's probably a little bit of a bad camera angle there, but I'll need 2 hands. We've sort of muddled through. We've got the clutch on, so of course it's all nice and locked up, and if we pull the lever across, the centre spins nicely, and we'll release it and everything spins again. That squeaking noise is the motor, so we're going to have to take a look at that. Presume it's just a little bit dry down there, but it has got somewhere down here, about there-ish, both ends, sort of like a little oil port, so we can do something with that. But yeah, yeah, tension some belts, put some change gears on. I'm not overfussed which ones I put on. I've got a nice big box of them, so we just want to see if things work really. And the outer cover, yeah, maybe give it some electric, see what happens. Okay, right, I shall carry on. Okay, so we're getting there. Just adjust that tripod a bit, there we go. Yeah, it looks like a lathe now, which is nice. A very disgustingly painted lathe, but a lathe nonetheless. I've chucked the big 4-jove on just because it was the easiest one to chuck on. We're sort of getting there, and we're starting messing around with the old electrical box. Yeah, not quite sure what the deal with that lot is, but I'll have a meddle around with it and see if we can make it work. I've just cut an old extension lead up for now. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, I'd sort of burnt it a little bit, that one. Not from the inside though, I've not overloaded it, it got burnt from the outside. Yeah, don't quite know how I managed that, but you know, went to put it away the other day and went, oh heck, that's a bit knackered. Which is a shame because it's my favourite extension lead. So yeah, I think I'm going to just whip the cover off that motor, just make sure that's wired right. Run a multimeter over a couple of components on there, and I think this tail that comes out of the box, I think that was to the emergency stop switch, but I don't know. So for an initial test, all I did was plug the old extension lead into the mains there, and absolutely nothing happened, which would say to me that that was to the emergency stop, and of course it's all disconnected, so now it's going to work. But yeah, I'm going to take that cover off, just have a quick look, and then try not to electrocute myself. So yeah, well, right. I was about to say something then, but it was a bit rubbish, so I won't bother. Yeah, onward. Okay, well, I've been prodding around in that box, and I don't know what it's doing with the angry pixies that live in the wires. I can prod across some bits and it's got 240, other bits got 100, some bits have got 40 volts. So there's something not happy in there. So I've disconnected it. Where is it? There we go. I've just pulled it out the back of the lathe, took that end cover off the motor, and cover the little cap for the electrics, and it is just a single phase motor, which is good. So I've just shoved 3 wires in there, and I've just dragged out my flimsiest, shittest extension lead. Says it's good for 10 amps. So these are meant to have a 3 horsepower motor in them, from what I understand. I could be completely wrong. So 10 horsepower, oh sorry, 10 horsepower. 3 horsepower is about 2.2 kilowatts, which at 240 volts is less than 10 amps. So if I plug that in, and yeah, it shouldn't fry everything. It should just work. Yeah, let's see what happens. I'll put you somewhere. Put you on the lathe, don't it all goes terribly wrong. I'll cost myself a camera as well. So, where are we? One plug, one extension lead. Well, nothing terrible happened. Let's see if the clutch works. Yeah, clutch is working well. Motor's quieter than I expected. I did take those caps off and pop a bit of lubrication in there. There's a little bit of clutch drag that Chuck is still trying to turn, but I know it's alright now. And the clutch is staying disengaged, that's good, because I wasn't sure if that oversense of it was going to work or not. So yeah, that is just the noise of the motor spinning. I did put oil in the gearbox. I've been round all the grease nipples that are kicking about the place. They are absolutely everywhere on this. And yeah, that seems to be working, doesn't it? Let's re-engage it. Sort of sounds nice enough. So if I had a free hand, then I could just put a bit of friction on that chuck at the stop. Oh, mind you, it's doing it on its own. I just want to disengage. There we go, yeah, that clutch is just dragging a little bit. There we go, let's disengage that. And something electrical is smelling warm. So, cables. This is a rather Heath Robinson setup. No, everything there's nice and cool. I wonder if it is just the motor. It is a very old motor that's been stuck for a very long time. I'll turn it off for a moment. There we go. Yeah, we'll turn it off for a moment. That all seems good. And I might chuck some oil on the ways and bits, clear all this debris off here. I don't know, what have we got here? Some kind of form tool someone's put in there. We might have a go at cutting something and see what happens. Right, yeah, I'll bring you back when I've done that. Okay, so I've found a bit of bar stock. Don't quite know where I got that from, but I've got it. That's sort of half a thou off running true. I've just dug out a scabby old tool. Don't know where that came from. Probably when I've bought a job lot of stuff from an auto jumble or something. Anyway, I just stuck it on the diamond home there and just sort of gave it a little bit of an edge so it stands a fighting chance. Its profiles look completely wrong for doing this bit of alley, but it's the only bit I've got. Let's get this out. I don't know if I can get in with this thing. Yeah, you can sort of see. Yeah, it's the only thing that I've got that's sort of on centre. Yeah, everything else I've got the cutting tips either miles too high or miles too low, and I don't fancy spending a load of time grinding some tools up. As you can see with the rule in there, that's about on centre. Not perfect, but near enough. So I'll get the rule out of the way. I'll find some safety specs. I think we're in a much taller gear now, so it should spin a lot faster. I've oiled the ways up, I've checked the oil level in the gearbox, oiled up the lead screws. So yeah, I think we should, I'm just going to feed this manually, but I think we should put a cut on and see what happens. Right, let me get everything started. Since we've got a dual tool, that's the wrong profile. I should maybe do a lighter cut there, because I'm sort of taking off like 30, 40 thou maybe. Yeah, let's I'll clean it up a bit, And what I'll do is I'll maybe alter the angle the tool post is at so it's a little bit more favourable for that tool. I'll have a couple of cuts, and then what we'll do is we'll measure the diameter of the bar at different intervals and just see how true it's running. I mean, we are sort of pushing a look on stick out as well with the diameter of this stuff. It sort of should have tail support at this point, but I don't actually know if I've got anything for that. All my old stuff's on Morse tapered 2, and I'm not sure if that's 2 or 3. Let's have a check. That's definitely 2. Yeah. That's not going to work, is it? So yeah, I'll have to come up with something for that at some point. But anyway, right, now I've shut this off, instead of having this just squealing at you, I'll do a couple of ones and then we'll see where we are. Okay, well that's not working. Don't know what that tool is actually made out of, but this aluminium's enough to bear the edge over on it, which is strange. So yeah, like I said, it's rather rough looking bit. That was just in the bottom of a box of stuff, and as you can see, that surface finish is absolutely awful. I think I could have done better with my teeth. So yes, we're going to have to scrap checking how true it is for now, until I've sorted some tools out. But yeah, I have just spent the last 10-15 minutes messing about, turning a perfectly good bit of aluminium bar into scrap, which, you know, it turns metal into scrap much quicker than the old lathe did. Yeah, you can put some... I was shoving some quite heavy cuts on there when the camera was off, and say that's alley, there's some nice tight curves. It's not the giant's rat's nest. Well, if you do a really light cut, you get the rat's nest stuff, but generally it's either making chips or doing that. So it's, yeah, the chip breaking profile's quite good on that tool, but that's about it. So yeah, I think we'll call it quits at that, because that has been a bit more successful than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think we was going to get the thing together, let alone running. And like I said at the beginning, I wasn't sure about that motor. I had it in my head it was 3-phase for some reason, but it's not, it's single, which is a good thing. The strange box of controls is not working for some reason. And really, I shouldn't be using it because it is just directly wired into a plug. There's no on-off switches, so I am relying on the clutch and being able to get to a plug and pull it, which isn't the safest of setups. I've just kicked something, I can't see what it is. Maybe just a bit of swarf or something. So yeah, I think we shall call that quits. We have a lathe back together and it works. How accurate it is, no one knows yet, but I don't think it'll be too bad. So yeah, anyway, if you're still here, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da!